This week on Let's Fish TV, we're at Ross Barnett. Ross Barnett is located just outside of Jackson, Mississippi, and it is loaded with largemouth bass. The fish are spawning, they're up shallow, and I'm telling you right now, guys, we are going to blast them today. We got a big storm coming in, and I have a feeling those fish are gonna fire up without a doubt. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. Oh my gosh. Check that out.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southeast region every week.
Cobia, big one, and a monster.
Look at that.
That's a Tawakoni giant.
This is Let's Fish.
Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today we're at Ross Barnett Reservoir. Locally known as the Res, Ross Barnett is 33,000 acres and it is full of fish. Catfish, crappie, bass, you name it. Today though, we're gonna be targeting largemouth bass in shallow water. The fish are spawning and we are definitely gonna be targeting those with swim jigs, swim baits, frogs, and every other bait in between. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this Bass Cat Mercury launch, get everything set up. We'll toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hi everybody, thanks so much for joining us. The Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity both days this weekend. Look for peak game fish activity to begin at 2:59 on Saturday and 3:44 Sunday afternoon. Evening action will begin around 2:41 on Saturday and 3:24 Sunday. Depending on your area, expect the sun to rise around 7:26 and set around 7:44. This weekend, we'll have a moon that is 17% visible. Make sure to stick around. We've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus 2014 Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Greg Hackney, will be here when we return to answer this week's Ask the Pro question.
Today on Let's Fish TV, we're at Ross Barnett Reservoir in central Mississippi. You know, this place is loaded with a lot of really big bass. I've been here a few different times and I have a feeling that we're gonna catch them pretty good today. The weather has been kind of hit or miss today. We've had some rain, some clouds, some wind, and some sunshine. But I know one thing, the fish are getting ready to spawn and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Let me get out there and see what we can get into today. I got a good feeling about it. Got it. There we go. There's a nice one. Oh, wow. There we go. Guys, today we are at Ross Barnett. Catching good ones. Check that one out right there. Man, oh man. What an awesome fish. You know, I want to tell you guys real quick about what we're doing here at Ross Barnett. We're in Mississippi now, and we're catching tanks. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that fish. Goodness gracious. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, these fish are pulling up ready to spawn. We're in the springtime of the year, and the fishing here at Ross Barnett, this is the time to be here. That's a really good fish, over 4 pounds. Just a really solid fish. Let's get this fish back real quick. Guys, what an awesome bass that was. You know, it's a really funny thing that just happened. So I was actually tossing around a Strike King swim jig and I was reeling it up high and I see this fish just roll and miss it. And this is where one of the most important things that you can do in bass fishing is to have a good follow-up bait. This follow-up bait for me is a Strike King Zero. Now, you've heard me talk about the Strike King Ocho, which is a soft plastic stick bait. This one actually is made of an ElasTech material and I'm putting a weight on it. So I use it as a backup flipping bait and I flipped it back up in the exact same spot where that fish was. I reeled it out through there because I didn't know if she had it or not, and she ate it while I was reeling the bait out. But it's really important to have that backup bait. But guys, let me tell you a little bit about Ross Barnett. Ross Barnett is outside of Jackson, Mississippi. And this is not the first time I've been to this place. This place is loaded with big bass, and right now is the time to come here and catch them. Now, most of Mississippi is known for its outstanding crappie fishing, from Lake Grenada to Lake Washington, among so many others that have 3 to 3.5 to even 4 pound crappie in them. But guys, one thing that is not talked about enough is how great the bass fishing is here in Mississippi as well. But I'm gonna showcase it today. I'm gonna show you just how good Ross Barnett can be. I have a feeling we're gonna catch them really good today.
All right, folks, it is time for your Carolinas Report. I'm Captain E, and we're coming to you thanks to our good friends over at Crazy Sister Marina. And our friends at Crazy Sister Marina want to help you live like a local. They want to put you out on the water. They want to get you out there and enjoy. And visit crazysistermarina.com. You can get that trip booked now. Stevie Packett Pax Landing said that it's been incredible up there. What they've had is these stripers started to make their way up the river. They come out of the lake and head up to the Congaree and the Wateree to do their spawning. And that cold temperature stopped them in their tracks. They're catching a lot of big stripers right now. Had several over 30 pounds, which is great for C&T Lake, but they're catching them down in the river where you get to the trestle, start fishing your way back to the lake, set up in those bins, stop at Pax Landing, get some live blueback herring. You're gonna have a lot of success. Also, the bass bite continues to be great. You know, we've got a lot of fish that have spawned out, but we've got a ton of fish that are gonna be going to the beds here on this next full moon. If you get out and you're fishing on your lakes, get out and find that bait right now. You're gonna find fish, whether they're feeding up to go spawn or whether they're coming off. This has been your Carolinas Report, but remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
There we go. There we go. Man, he destroyed that swim jig. Holy cow. Jeez. There we go. Look at that, guys. My goodness. That's the way you want them to eat a swim jig, like that. Wow. What a great bass that is. I mean, he wrecked that swim jig. Let's get this fish back and we're gonna talk a little bit about it. God, they're blowing up everywhere. This is crazy, guys. Oh my gosh. Guys, that fish came from about 5 foot away to destroy that swim jig. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm using a pretty special swim jig today. This swim jig right here is an Academy exclusive. This is a Strike King Hack Attack. This is the Academy Select swim jig. It's a 1/4 ounce, and I've got a little Strike King Baby Rage Crawl in here. Now, the unique thing about this particular swim jig is it actually has a owner jungle hook. This is the exact same hook that I flip with, and the same hook that you're gonna find in the Thunder Cricket. It has a 4/0 size hook in it, and let me tell you guys, when those fish come out there and hit it, it is the sharpest, strongest hook that I've ever found. You know, and the deal is Strike King didn't just send these to me. I went to Academy and bought them myself. That's how much confidence I have in this particular swim jig. Anytime that I'm having to use braid and I'm keeping that bait up in the water column, I want something that has a good hook, a solid hook, and a sharp hook. And I think that's one of the most important aspects of a swim jig is having the right hook, having the right type of line tie. This is a horizontal line tie, and it is a more compact head design. Therefore, you can slip in and around that cover, and that's what you need here at Ross Barnett. And let me tell you guys, Ross Barnett is one of those places that is really, really cool. It has a lot of fish in it, especially in the springtime. And right now, that's where we're at. The fish are spawning, they're up shallow, they're up and around this grass, and we're gonna break down the pattern. You know, so far I've caught a couple fish, caught one on a swim jig, one on a Strike King Zero, and it's all about paying attention to your surroundings. I'm using the swim jig to kind of cover some water, and when I need to slow down, I'm picking up the Zero and cleaning up with it. But I'm gonna get back to it. There's a bunch of alligators around and a bunch of fish busting. I have a feeling we're gonna catch a lot more today. Let's get back to it, and I'll see y'all here in just a second.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan or book your fishing charter at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS Anchor, powered by Passion. Glacier Outdoor. Outdoors since 1982.
Got one, got it. There we go. There we go, guys. Got one, got it. There we go. There we go, guys. Whew. Here at Ross Barnett, we're catching biggins on a swim jig. Check that out. Oh my God, look at that scar on him. I wonder if one of these big old gators, I bet that is from a big old gator. He's got 3 or 4 real big gashes on his side here. And I've seen some of those dinosaurs type gators here. He ate that swim jig. There we go, got him. Another 3+ pound bass. I mean, it's probably closer to 3.5 pounds. Just a gorgeous fish, minus this big old gash in his belly. But he'll be all right. Let him go and get back ready to go lay some eggs. I swear that fish blew that swim jig up about 1 or 2 feet in the water. He just absolutely mauled it. You know, but the cool thing is where we're at is Ross Barnett, Mississippi. It's just outside of Jackson. And this place, I've been here for like 3 or 4 different Bassmaster tournaments, and it seems like every single time we come here, somebody blasts a big bag. The last time we were here, Lee Livesay won that event and had a really big bag of fish on the first day. I mean, there's unlimited amount of cover. You know, you've got gator grass and pads and reeds and pad stems and all this different cover in the water. The water's dirty, so you can grind up there shallow and catch those fish. But beyond just Ross Barnett, there's a lot of great lakes all through Mississippi, and there's some that have some of the biggest crappie that you've ever seen in your life. Grenada being one of them, Lake Washington, among so many other big lakes around here. When you come to Mississippi, you can go fish for just about anything you want to and catch some really good fish, whether it's bass or crappie or anything else, catfish. But today has been fun. I'm gonna get back to it. The fish are biting here in Mississippi. You need to come check it out, guys. Like I'm telling you, come down here. Don't just come here to fish a tournament or something like that. Come down here and come fun fishing. You'll figure it out fairly quickly and you'll catch you some really nice bass. I mean, we hadn't been out here just a couple hours today and we've already caught quite a few nice ones already.
Hey y'all, this is the Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia Coastal Fishing Report brought to you by my fishing tournament, the Convict Classic. Y'all go to Fishing Chaos, click the tournaments, and look up the Convict Classic. You can join that tournament today or any day between now and May 30th. Fish at your leisure. Cooper, my sidekick, he's on the leaderboard in the junior and in the open category, so y'all go give him a run for his money. Here in the Alabama area, Cooper's gonna give us the rundown. What you got, buddy?
We've been catching fish in the Mobile rivers, redfish, trout, on split shot and hooks, using live shrimp. Sheephead bite, you can get out in the Gulf, but if the wind comes down, then you probably catch them.
Yeah, the bite's still going on the days that you can get out and fight the wind. The north wind will help you out all around the Alabama coast to be able to get out just outside these beaches and fish some of that nearshore structure. I talked to Kyle Johnson. He said the cold weather that we've recently received in our area has really hindered a lot of his fish. Speckled trout fishing deeper holes using pink color soft plastics has been the way he's been able to catch his speckled trout. The guys out of Georgia saying catching redfish and speckled trout, looking in those deeper holes is going to be your ticket there. Y'all remember what my buddies from the Speckled Truth say, and that's keep what you need and leave the rest. God bless, guys.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. Powerful. Total Boat Control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits.
There we go. Oh gosh, she just ran from about 5 foot away and just wrecked that thing. 50-yard area right here has got some dang bass in it. I know that. There we go. Got it. There we go. Oh gosh, she just ran from about 5 foot away and just wrecked that thing. There we go. I mean, a big old fat one too. There we are. Wow. Check that out, guys. Holy cow. Another nice bass on the Strike King swim jig. Goodness gracious. So just a couple casts before that, my line kind of hitched a little bit and it stopped. And when I started to engage it, all I felt was like that sucking sound, and it missed it. Made a few casts in there, and I did what I would recommend doing is letting it sit for about a couple minutes and then casting back in there. Let that fish set back up and then making the right cast and getting her to bite. So let's get this fish back. Whew, man, my heart is racing right now, guys. Holy cow.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is your Alabama, Tennessee, and Mississippi fishing report. I hope you guys have been catching a lot of fish. I hope that these tips are helping you guys every day on the lake. Right now in Tennessee, Kentucky Lake, the crappie fishing has been really good. They're sitting over about 20-25 foot of water in the main river channels. With that current ripping, they're just suspending all around those brush. Let's go over to Alabama. Right now, Smith Lake is fishing pretty good. The largemouth are gutting up there in the shallows. Now, I would be fishing clay points, clay banks. I'll be throwing a crankbait, jerkbait. Let's go over to Mississippi. Right now, Bay Springs Lake is fishing really good. There's a lot of flooded timber, and you guys getting that flooded timber using your forward-facing sonar. And I'm throwing jerkbait, A-rigs, spinner baits. I promise you guys will catch a lot of bass doing that. So back to the show, tight lines, and stay safe.
There we go. There's another nice one there. Oh, there we go. That's why you have a backup bait right there. Oh, there we go, guys. I threw my swim jig in there. She smoked it, took a leg off my trailer. I picked up that Strike King Zero and put another nice one in the boat. And that is the importance right there of having that backup bait. I mean, goodness gracious, another really great fish. I'd go out on a limb to say our best 5 today, probably around that 18 to 19 pound range. A lot of really solid 3 3/4 to 4 pounders today. Another just really good one. Let's get this fish back real quick and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Guys, I can't stress how important it is to have a good backup bait. One that you have confidence in and one that you can get in on the spot very quickly. That's what I was doing with the Strike King Zero today. It's a soft plastic stick bait, and I use a little 1/8 ounce weight on this. This particular plastic tends to float more. So when I'm throwing this particular piece of plastic, I want a weight. That way it'll kind of nose down, but the bait will stay higher in the water column. This is probably one of the more overlooked stick worms that Strike King makes. You know, the Ocho is a fantastic bait, especially weightless, and that is a bait that I turn to all the time. But the Zero still has its place, and today we're fishing around Ross Barnett. The water is pretty darn dirty. I mean, like a lot of times we're digging on the bottom when we're trolling around, so that means you're talking a foot to 1.5 feet of depth, and you can't even remotely see the bottom. So June bug, as far as the color goes for the Strike King Zero, and throwing that white swim jig, and that's how I actually found that fish. I threw that white swim jig up there, and I'm reeling it, burning it across, and the fish blows up on it, eats the tail off of it. I immediately re-rigged me a new crawl on my swim jig, and I picked up the Zero, and on the second flip, I caught the fish. So be smart when you're out there, you're throwing any moving bait. I don't care if it's a vibrating jig, a swim jig, a top water, whatever it is, have a good backup follow-up bait and you will load the boat with it. I mean, you might not catch 100 on it during the day, but you'll catch that fish that you missed, and sometimes it's a really big one. Today it wasn't necessarily, but it was still a really good one. But yeah, that's what I throw, guys. Pick you up some Strike King Zeros and you'll be surprised how great they work.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose, Feel the Difference, Mamba Boats, Ride with Pride, Strike King, Taiwan On, Fishing Specialties, makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right on over to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Gordon wants to know, what lake gets your vote as best bass lake in America and why? To get the answer, we checked with 2014 Bass Master Angler of the Year, Greg Hackney.
You know, honestly, to me, the best bass lake in America is the one we're going to in a week from now, is Santee Cooper in southern South Carolina. And for me personally, I grew up on a body of water fishing cypress trees, and Santee is full of cypress trees. But the cool thing about it is it's like it's got an 8-pounder on every cypress tree in it. So, and not just because I like to fish that way, and it is such a great lake, I just feel like it suits my style of fishing, and I get to fish the way I like to fish.
Thanks so much, Greg. If you want some help from one of the pros too, simply go to letsfishtv.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and then submit your very own question.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today at Ross Barnett, I used a couple different baits to catch my bass. You know, honestly, day in and day out on Ross Barnett, you can get the job done with a swim jig. You know, this is a 1/4 ounce Hack Attack Select swim jig. It's an Academy exclusive, so that's the only place you can find them. You know, this is a 1/4 ounce Strike King swim jig. It's white with a baby Rage Crawl. This is just the trailer I like to use. It's a little bit more compact than the bigger Rage Crawl, and I feel like it keeps that jig just right under the surface perfectly where I can catch those fish. 30-pound braid. This is Strike King Contra braid with a 7.5-to-1 gear ratio, Lose Pro TI. But I'm gonna tell you guys, the Team Lose Signature Series swim jig rod, it's a 7.5-footer. I really think made a huge difference. I mean, because I was able to load into those fish, I wasn't pulling the hook out, and I was always getting so frustrated when I would set the hook on a fish, especially throwing a swim jig where I could see them. I was pulling the hook out of their mouth so many times, and I'm not running that whatsoever with this. Back that drag off though, it's really important. The other thing I used, and I actually caught my very first 4-pounder of the day on it, was a Strike King Zero. This is a soft plastic stick bait. It's an Elastec type formula with an 1/8 ounce weight, 20-pound Strike King fluorocarbon. And I was using the 7.2 jig worm rod. This is Signature Series Lose rod and another 7.5-to-1 Pro TI Lose reel. You have to have a good backup bait whenever you're targeting fish with the swim jig, a frog, or any kind of moving bait. I opted for the Texas rig today. I felt like I could get in and around that cover a little bit better than a weightless rig, and I think it added a few more fish to the day for sure. But overall, guys, it was a great experience here at Ross Barnett. I hope you learned how to find and catch them. And until next time, I'll see you on the water.